Welcome back to Millie's Mini Library. So I'm back. Hi. Great to see you. I'm going to be doing my January reading wrap up since it's February 3rd when I'm filming this, and I personally think that's pretty decent time to do a reading wrap up, 3 days after the month ended. Look at me being punctual. So, how are you doing? Okay. I read Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. It was a reread for me. I wanted to reread the entire series again before Oathbound came out, which will be published on this date. I'm gonna put it there. Yes. So I'll put the stack of books I finished as long as I own them there. What is this? Okay, so that was the first book I read this month. It's a 5-star read in my opinion. Ooh. So Bree is there with Alice. She's at early college in North Carolina, and she's 16. So I mean, like, we know that's not the age people usually go to college, but it's early college. So she's away from home. She's grieving her mother from she died in a car accident. This is no spoilers, by the way. No spoilers. She died in a car accident. But things aren't adding up. So Bree decides, hey, I'm going to go figure this out, And deep in her mind, she's like, I want to figure out what happened to my mother, but not right now. So she puts that on hold. Then she sees this guy, Selwyn. I love Selwyn. He's so cute. I love Selwyn. Anyway, so she sees Selwyn, and he's doing some magic. He got some swirly twirly stuff all around him. She's like, what's going on? So she figures out what happens, and she, joins in. This book is amazing. Legendborn by Tracy Deonn is a 5-star read. There is a second book in the series called Bloodmarked, and then third one is called Oathbound, which I told you will be released soon. 5-star read. Check trigger warnings. Amazing premise. Amazing idea. Authors roundtable is involved. Generational wealth or lack of. So that was the first book I read this year, which was 5-star. I knew I wanted to start the year off with something good. So I said, let's start it off with a 5-star read. That's 10. 5 out of 5. I read The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This is an adult book, but it's written like a child's picture book. The main character is Linus, and there are several kids in this big old house, and they're all considered magical beings. And it is because we literally have Lucifer's child. We have Chauncey. We have no idea what Chauncey is, but I think he's adorable. He wants to be a doorbell. A doorman. A bellhop. He wants to be a bellhop. And I think it's a cute read. It does deal with heavy topics. Check the trigger warnings. Once again, discrimination, child abuse, orphans. It's sad altogether. I gave it 4.5 stars. I read this book in 3 days, which is pretty quick for me. So by now we are on January 8th. And it was a good read. Amazing. It is a duology. So I will say be prepared for a duology. Legendborn's a trilogy. So I did start a bunch of series this year, even though I'm only, at this point, 8 days in. The next book I read, The Air Affair. I don't remember who it was. I did not like the book. It got 1 star. All I remember was there was a dodo bird, and all he said was plop plop. If you want to be dumbfounded by something, read The Air Affair. I don't even want to put an age rating on it because it feels so nonsensical. I feel like anyone could read it. It was not a good book for me. I gave it 1 star, and I'm not going to dwell too much on talking about it because it is making me lose brain cells just talking about it. I read Heavenly Tyrant by Jiren Zhao, and it was beautiful.
I know I say this book is beautiful and all, and it is, but there are some reasons why it isn't a 5-star in my book, but I think it's just great. It was just a little too slow in the start for me. Okay.
I gave it 3.5 stars. This book was perfect. It was perfection. They legit fought the stinking hierarchy of their world, and it was amazing. Trigger warnings. Abuse, manipulation, war, poverty, sexual assault, molesting, literally anything you can think of, they put it in this book. I'm pretty sure the author did have a trigger warning at the beginning of the book, so please check that out. they say it better than I do, so, you know, trust the author more than me. Heavenly Tyrant was a great book. It's the second book in the series. The first book is Iron Widow. I will say 100% check that out. Age range 13 to 14 and up. This does, once again, take my ratings with a grain of salt. These are all opinionated. And if you think you're mature enough to read something, have at it. Because I love looking at people's age ratings for books. So I put this here because I'm like, I feel like it will be helpful to other people. So I read Hunted by Bella Higgins. It is the third book in the Belmort series. First book, Belmort. Second book, Revelations. Third book, Hunted. These are published Wattpad stories. So think of that the way you must. It was actually pretty enjoyable. I love the first book. The first book was really fun. And then I read the next two back to back. So it's a great series. I will say 13, 12 and up. It's pretty clean. There are some, it is a bit open door, but it's not graphic. So it's about our main character of Hunted is a side character in Belmort. Her name is Rue, and she decides to go help her friend out, Renee, and do some investigating to find some rogue vampires with the help of Ludovic, another vampire in the Belmort house. So they go out into the real world. She teaches Ludovic how to use a phone, which is kind of funny. It was my least favorite book in the series, the book. I don't remember if I said it or not. I gave it 3 stars, and it was in the third person, which I thought was really weird. The first 2 books were in first person, and then they threw third person in, but it wasn't that bad. I listened to the audiobook, so I feel like that helped a lot more by listening to the audiobook in third person, because it just kind of reminds me of someone telling you a story verbally, like, gather around the circle. I'll read to you. I read the play by Elle Kennedy. She wrote The Deal. I got bamboozled. I'm almost done. Hold my hand while I tell you this. Demi Davis and Hunter Davenport. Demi Davis is already in a relationship at the beginning of the book. Hunter is on a streak of celibacy, so he's like, I must focus on the game because Hunter is now the team captain, and so it's hockey. It's my least favorite book, I will say. I don't want to talk about this anymore, y'all. 2 stars, age rating 15, 14 and up. Next up, I read Most Ardently by Gabe Cole Novella. If you like The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich, I feel like you're going to like this one. Okay, I will read the synopsis for this one because I feel like it's still too fresh in my head and I don't want to mess it up because it's short. I'll say it really fast. Oliver Bennett feels trapped, not just by the endless corsets, petticoats, and skirts he's forced to wear on a daily basis, but also by society's expectations. The world and the vast majority of his family and friends think Oliver is a girl named Elizabeth. He is therefore expected to mingle at balls, wear pretty dresses, entertain suitors regardless of his interest in them, and ultimately become someone's wife. So, we end up getting a lot of Darcy in this book. I'd never read Pride and Prejudice. So, yeah. But I thought it was adorable. Darcy's fun. They share a love of books, which I thought was really cool because, like, imagine bonding over books. That's how I make friends. I ask them, do you read? And sometimes they'll say no, and then I say, so are you illiterate? I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and it was really cute. It's a part of a remix series, so like they have Great Gatsby, Jekyll and Hyde, others. Next up, I read Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I didn't like Powerless. Yeah. Ooh, she didn't like Powerless. What's wrong with you? How can you say you're a book lover if you don't like Powerless? Powerless is so good. Why don't you like... Okay, I'm pretending like this things people ask me. Wait, yes, there is. My friend, she was asking me, she's like, why don't you like Powerless? I'm like, because it was boring. I felt like Powerless had potential, just didn't hit the way it was supposed to for me. But that's okay. Then I read Powerful. That was better. So now I'm like, okay, I'll do Reckless so I can read the next book. Fearless. Speak now, Alfred. But I read Reckless. Took me one day because I listened to the audiobook since I could not put my time and my effort into Reckless, and I was like, no thank you. So I gave that book 2.5 stars, and in my real words after finishing it, I said this idea of magic is very overused. I predicted the ending. I'm still going to read book 3. Blah 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 blah. I only got through because of the audiobook. I hate books where I can predict it. I hate books where it's like forced proximity. I felt like Lauren Roberts shoved every single trope you can think of into here. There was one bed, hunter hunted. There was enemies to lovers. 2.5 stars. Age rating 12 and up. It's clean. I Got Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I read this book before, decided to do a reread. It was great. First time, 4 stars. Second time, 3.5. Only because Liz is not a girl's girl. Okay, plot of the book is Liz Boxbaum has always known that Wes Bennett was not boyfriend material. What do you think? Directly off the top, that's what they say? He's boyfriend material. Wes Bennett, not for me. I don't like, you know how it's like Liz wants to get with Michael. Michael doesn't think of her like that. He calls her Little Liz in his Texan accent that she makes so known. Like, his only redeeming quality is that he has an accent other than accents that she's aware of in Nebraska. Liz Boxbaum is trying to get her love of her life to love her again, to be in love with her. Well, they never loved each other in the first place, but like, she knew, it's like, this is the one. My mother, who also recently passed away, similar to Legendborn, I'm feeling like a theme of dead moms. His mother died, and so her mom was a giant romance fan. She loved all the books, all the movies, and so Liz is trying to find her dream relationship before she graduates high school, and she is in she's senior year. Prom is fast approaching. She wants her perfect dream promposal, dinner, cool dress, corsages, the whole 9 yards. She thinks she can get that out of the guy that just recently moved back to town, Michael. Michael comes over, just sees her as Little Liz. So you know what she does? She goes and gets her neighbor, who's still pretty close to Michael, Wes Bennett, and she says, Wes, I need your help. You can have our dream spot, which is basically the car park right in front of them. They share a parking space right in front of their houses because they're direct neighbors. She says, you can have the spot if you help me win Michael. Wes says, deal. So this is the story of how she gets Michael, or doesn't get him, find out. It's amazing. It's so adorable. It's just when I talk about it, I feel disgusted talking about Liz. She's a good character. She has some unredeeming qualities. Thank you guys for watching. I'm happy to be back. Hopefully I'll be back to posting consistently a little bit. We'll see. But I will say I probably rambled too much. I'm a little out of practice, so y'all give me a break. Okay. So, I'll see you all next time. Bye. Happy reading.